Ukrainian troops repelled a Russian assault near Novomykhailivka, Donetsk region. The 79th Air Assault Brigade said they had neutralized 8 Russian armored vehicles. The Russians once again attacked with their equipment and once again got wrecked. 2 tanks and 6 armored vehicles with enemy infantry remained on the battlefield, not reaching our positions, the military said. The brigade added that this time they managed to neutralize at least 80 Russian soldiers. The paratroopers of the 79th Separate Tavrian Air Assault Brigade sent more than 80 Russian soldiers who wanted to earn 200,000 rubles by killing Ukrainians. Straight to hell, the military added. According to the deep state map, Novomykhailivka is completely under occupation, but the Russian invaders are trying to advance further. During the battles near Novomykhailivka, the soldiers of the 79th Separate Tavrian Air Assault Brigade inflicted significant losses on the Russian invaders. Recently, Yaroslav Chepurny, a spokesman for the 79th Air Assault Brigade, said that very heavy fighting is taking place in the area. These battles can be called all out, because the enemy is completely destroying our positions, smashing them with artillery systems and FPV drones. If the enemy captures positions, we also destroy them, said Yaroslav Chepurny. According to him, Novomykhailivka looks like Mariinka, which the brigade defended for more than a year. Mariinka settlement was almost completely destroyed by the Russian soldiers. And now, the same thing is happening in Novomykhailivka. Considering that the houses there are small, one-story, many have walls made of clay, and are very easily destroyed. It is no longer a settlement there, but a field, the press officer added. He added that the enemy's forces are very powerful. The active phase of fighting for this settlement began sometime in late last fall. During this time, more than 300 units of enemy equipment were destroyed, and 10 Russian military units took part in the assaults. Russia has intensified its attacks on the strategically important town of Chasiv Yar and other targets in Ukraine's east, taking advantage of the fact that some Ukrainian units were diverted to fight its new incursion in the northern region of Kharkiv. But Ukraine held the line during the past week, recapturing Russian footholds in Chasiv Yar. Should the town fall, military observers say, it would put Russian forces in a position to attack the last remaining free cities in Donetsk, Kostiantynivka, Druzhivka, Sloviansk, and Kramatorsk, which form Ukraine's main line of defense in the region. Ukraine also unleashed waves of aerial and naval drones, striking Russian refineries, oil depots, airfields, and ports, and sinking the last missile carrier Russia had in the Black Sea. Ukrainian officials have warned that they expect further waves of attacks in Kharkiv, and some observed a new buildup of Russian troops on Russian soil north of the city of Sumy, a possible indication of a new incursion. But so far, Ukraine has managed its slender resources efficiently enough to thwart Russia at every turn. Russian forces unleashed a company-sized mechanized assault in Chasiv Yar on May 17 and 18, including 2 tanks and 21 infantry fighting vehicles. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said at least 20 of the vehicles were destroyed. The Institute for the Study of War, ISW, a Washington-based think tank, said it was the first assault of such ambition in 6 weeks, as Russian forces sought to exploit the pressure on Ukraine's defenders from their incursion in Kharkiv. Ukrainian forces have recently transferred elements of a Ukrainian brigade defending in the Chasiv Yar area to the Vovchansk area. And Russian forces have likely intensified offensive operations near Chasiv Yar to quickly take advantage of weakened Ukrainian defenses, said the ISW. Zelensky told Reuters that the Russian incursion in Kharkiv had been stabilized, whereas the real fight was in the east. No one even notices that there are actually more battles in the east of the country, specifically in the Donbas direction. Kharkiv, Pokrovsk, Chasiv Yar, he told the news agency. The main thrust of the Kharkiv offensive was directed at Vovchansk, about 40 km, or 25 miles, northeast of Kharkiv city, where Russian troops made gradual inroads throughout the week, but still only held about a quarter of the town. A second Russian line of attack in Kharkiv was trying to reach the village of Lipsy, but Zelensky said Ukraine had stalled both efforts 5 to 10 kilometers, 3 to 6 miles, from the Russian border, less than 2 weeks after the May 10th incursion. A Ukrainian officer told the Washington Post that Russian electronic warfare jamming had blinded the surveillance drones it flies daily along the border in the hours leading up to the invasion, delaying the mobilization of defenses. The mayor of Vovchansk, Tamaz Gambarashvili, also told the New York Times that for months before the invasion, a combination of Russian drone surveillance and artillery fire harassed Ukrainian soldiers trying to build trenches and concrete bunkers, leaving the first line of defense unprepared.